Hi, this is Dave. Here's a scenario. Let's say you have a business or that you are responsible for a major portion of one, a department or significant piece of it, and you're becoming convinced that it can be more than just a money-making effort, that it has potential to have a spiritual impact, and you'd like to nudge the organization in the direction of becoming a kingdom business. If that's the case, where do you start? Well, here's three essentials that you'll need to help you in the process. You'll need to build these into your organization and your personal routines in order to increase the likelihood of success. So 3 essentials to transform your business into a kingdom entity. Number 1, an ever-growing relationship with the Holy Spirit. Now, among other things, a kingdom business is a spiritual entity that exists to channel God's love and providence to that portion of the marketplace in which it operates. It is far more than just a business owned by Christians who try to operate it by Christian principles. Since a kingdom business is a spiritual entity, you'll need spiritual guidance on a day-to-day basis. You cannot possibly do this on your own. And that means that you'll need to develop a dynamic relationship with the Holy Spirit. Now, you may be well on your way, and you may have a developing relationship with the Holy Spirit, or you may be one of the many Christians for whom the idea is novel. Regardless of where you're at on this issue, start working on it now. Like everything else, your relationship is a journey, and you'll be far further along a year from now than you are now. Where you start is less important than the progress you make. Now, there are a number of books and blog posts and videos that can get you started and help you focus on this. I'll list several links in the show notes. Okay, so step 1, if you're going to try to become more of a kingdom entity, the first thing that's required is an ever-growing relationship with the Holy Spirit. The second thing is a picture of what a kingdom business looks like. Now, before you can decide to be something, it helps to know what that thing looks like. Baseball players, for example, can see what excellent baseball looks like on TV almost every day. The same is true for all the major sports. The same is true for symphony orchestras and ballet and all the arts. If you want to see what excellence in that endeavor looks like, you can see it. But for a kingdom business, it just isn't that easy. Just like in professional sports or any of the arts, in business, there is a set of practices that are often implemented by kingdom businesses. You'll need to familiarize yourself with those practices and then methodically embed them into your organization. It's one thing to try to adhere to Christian principles. It's quite another to instill and embed Christian practices. They're 2 separate things. So, one way to do that is to find kingdom businesses in your sphere, who out there in your sphere of influence has a kingdom business, and visit them and note the practices to which they adhere. Now, that's an excellent thing to do, but it's also pretty time-consuming. Another way is to study the Bible and identify those business practices that are modeled and taught. And yet another way is to find someone or some resource that has already done that and learn from that source. And of course, I'm going to recommend The Good Book on Business. The Good Book on Business, my most recent book, paints a picture of a kingdom business from the models shown us in the Word. The Biblical Business Course, which is a course that we have created, takes you methodically through the fundamental practices of a kingdom business and provides a process for transforming your business into a kingdom entity. So, step 1, ever-growing relationship with the Holy Spirit. Step 2, a picture of what a kingdom business looks like. Step 3, I really strongly recommend this. You join a small group of like-minded Christian business people and meet with them regularly. Transforming your organization into a biblical business is not an event. It's a continuous process that will take you the rest of your working career. And as you strive for higher degrees of impact, you'll continue to see a loftier place ahead. As Vince Lombardi said, you will, quote, strive for perfection and catch excellence. Perfection will forever elude you, but the striving for it will be a continuous, never-ending process that will produce excellence and greater impact. And that means, if you're going to strive for perfection, that means that you have thousands of decisions to make along the way. Sure helps if you have a trusted group of like-minded folks to support you and nurture the process. Because the specific business focus, you probably won't find it in a small group at church, but that's okay because there are national and local opportunities to join such a group. If you haven't already come across these, I would suggest you check out the C12 group, check out Convene, check out Truth at Work, check out my own CBIG groups, stands for Christian Business Impact Groups. And I personally manage and facilitate a couple of those groups over Zoom. So there are options out there. Not only are there the national organizations and the people like myself operating on Zoom nationally or internationally, really, but there are also local groups. It seems to me, I keep coming across them all the time. I suspect that there is a local group wherever you are, unless you're in a really small town or you're in a rural area. But if you're in any kind of city, I suspect that there is already somewhere in that town a small group of Christian business people who meet together regularly to support one another and act as a sounding board. So that's my third. So three essentials that you'll need to build into your business or that part of the business you're responsible for. Number one, an ever-growing relationship with the Holy Spirit. Number two, gain a picture of what a kingdom business looks like. And number three, join a small group of like-minded Christian business people to meet with regularly. You put those three things into your routines, and you'd be surprised at what an impact it can make. Just over a year or so, you'll see tremendous progress as you move towards creating a Christian business entity. These three essentials will put you on the path to a business transformation. And like traveling on a road trip, these three essentials are like the vehicle, the fuel, and the map. You still need to travel the course, but you won't be able to make much progress without them. By the way, we have a little tool, a free tool that might help you with this. It's called the Biblical Business Assessment, and it's a self-assessment. You just get the free download and take it yourself, and it helps you to understand where your business or your practice is on a spectrum from those businesses that are very compartmentalized and don't try to be Christian at all to those that are Spirit-driven on the other end of the spectrum. So you can chart that, ask yourself the questions that we have in that assessment, and then decide where you are on the spectrum of a Christian business. I'll put I'll put a link in the show notes as well. Okay, that's it for today. We're done. Bye-bye.